Oh, the joys of high school. Hey, what's up you guys? It's me again, and I'm back at it again with another video. Really quickly before I start, I just wanted to let you guys know that I originally had two singing videos posted on this channel, but I decided to remove them and put them onto my vlog channel, so if you see two less videos on this channel, now you know why. High school! We all have to go through it, and that means that we all have to go through sophomore year. Now, my sophomore year was very interesting. I was going in with mostly the same group of people that I went through freshman year with last year, but there were definitely a couple changes. So I've created a list of things that I want to talk about and the things that I had experienced during my sophomore year, and I'm just going to try and hit each category and kind of explain where I'm coming from and just explain my general experience. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is relationships. I went into sophomore year in a relationship. I ended my freshman year without a relationship, that was fine. But I started the summer of my sophomore year slowly building a relationship with a boy, and we dated for a couple months and everything was fine, but in the end we both wanted different things, so we did end up breaking up. It was pretty mutual breakup. I wasn't as upset about it as I was with my first breakup, but still definitely kind of sucked. And yeah, I wouldn't exactly say we parted as friends, but there definitely wasn't a lot of negative feelings towards each other, and I don't love getting into the details of the breakup, so I kind of just keep that between me and some friends. But I did unfortunately have a breakup. Crushes. I definitely had a couple crushes this year, not gonna lie. None of them were really serious to the point where, I don't know, none of them were serious to the point where I was like, I need to do something about this. It was more or less just, I think like this guy is really cute and I think this guy is really cute, and like, would I mind going out with him? No. But at the same time, I wasn't looking for a relationship, and I don't think that through the span of my high school career that I would want to get into another serious relationship. Needless to say, things always happen. That could always change my mind, but there's nobody really at my school who I would consider getting into a relationship with. Another big factor that played into my sophomore year was my friends getting into relationships. I had always kind of been the only one in the friend group to be dating a boy or have a boyfriend or just kind of be in that romantic relationship. And so this year, a lot of my friends started getting into relationships, which made me really, really happy to see them so happy. But at the same time, I also kind of felt like the third wheel a little bit, because here I was not dating anybody and some of my friends were getting into relationships, and so it was kind of interesting to be on the other end of the spectrum. So that was basically everything that went on relationship-wise this year. I wasn't that invested in relationships this year, and I probably won't be for junior year or senior year, but again, who knows what could happen. Summer romance-wise, not looking. If something happens, it happens, but yeah. So the next category that I wanted to move on to was schoolwork. I am not the greatest student. I can fully admit that. I often get confused when it comes to details in an assignment, or like when an assignment is due, or what's asked of me when an assignment is due. I often have trouble understanding concepts, especially in geometry. So two classes that I really struggled with this year were geometry and French. That's no surprise whatsoever. I am not good at math, and French, I just have a really hard time grasping the language, I think, especially like the spelling and whatnot. So for math, I actually did start working with the tutor, and that helped a lot, but the problem was, once I started doing better in math, I stopped working with the tutor, and therefore my grades started to fall again. So I think something that I definitely want to look for junior year is consistency in getting help in classes. I definitely think that some of the classes I excelled in this year were my musical theater class. As you know, I'm a musical theater nerd. I love musicals, I love everything about that. And my English class, I love writing. I love writing, I love reading, I love anything to do with literature, so it was very interesting to see that two of the classes that I did better in were the classes where I could express myself more. I definitely created some stronger relationships with teachers this year. Especially with my musical theater class, I really value my teachers' opinions and their directions and their willingness to tell me like where I need to improve. So I think that I definitely learned how to take instruction better this year and to really focus on not so much looking at like super teeny tiny details, but making sure that I realize the big overall picture before I really get into work on something. Okay, now what we've all been waiting for in this video, the drama. I personally felt like I did a lot better this year staying out of drama. There were definitely some moments in the beginning where I was getting involved in drama, but it was kind of how I was still transitioning from freshman year to sophomore year and kind of carrying that drama along with me. I definitely learned that I needed to drop the drama, especially if I wanted to make sure that I succeeded myself. So one of the biggest things that bothered me this year was the way that the upperclassmen treated the sophomores. Like, they were constantly telling us how much they hated the sophomores and how the sophomore class sucked and how it's just like, we're such an annoying class, we're super immature. And it made me really frustrated because I would sit back and I would observe kind of the upperclassmen and hear the upperclassmen talk about each other and talk about like drama and stuff. And I realized that they were no better than we were. Just because they're a grade above us does not mean that they were more mature than we were, as much as they like to act like it. And again, I had a lot of upperclassmen sophomore friends. I loved my upperclassmen sophomore friends, but there were some upperclassmen who would just like talk so much crap about the sophomores and then turn around and talk crap about their friends. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you want to talk about being mature and like being, oh, we're not sophomores anymore, we're these big upperclassmen. And yet you turn around and you talk about your friends just like a sophomore or a freshman does. Where's the logic in that? The sophomore class, and being a sophomore in general, is kind of like being the middle child in a family. You're not upperclassmen, but you're not the new freshman. So it's kind of like there's a lot more expected of you because it's not your first year anymore, and you need to like really start taking it serious, because it goes from you're a freshman, we'll cut you a little bit of a break, you're new this year, to a sophomore, we are preparing you for junior year because junior year is going to be like the biggest year of your life. Being a sophomore is definitely a difficult place to be in because there's still a lot of maturing that people need to do, and some people have matured and some people have not matured and they're still kind of stuck in that freshman mindset. But I don't know, I think it's all about just cutting everybody a break and realizing that we're all kind of working towards the same goal, and that's to be done with high school and to get through the grade and to get through the quarter, to get through the semester, to just kind of get through. One thing that I really noticed this year was people were very, very fake with each other. And that makes me incredibly sad because I really liked some of the people in my friend group. I noticed that there would be a lot of being nice to each other's faces and then immediately turning around and talking crap about each other behind each other's backs. And that was really sad because you're creating this falseness between you and this person thinks that they can trust you, and then that you turn around and talk about them behind their back. Like, that is not a true friend. I really, really tried to avoid this year because I didn't want people to think that I was untrustworthy or that I was talking about people behind each other's backs. I really wanted to be upfront with people this year. Whether I liked you, whether I didn't like you, I wasn't gonna put on some facade where it was, I'm going to be your friend and then I'm gonna turn around and talk shit about you to another person. That's not what I wanted whatsoever. And so I feel like because of that, I kind of got pushed away from the friend group a lot because I wasn't willing to participate in talking about drama or voicing my opinion a lot when I didn't like the topic. So I think especially with girls, I'm gonna be completely honest, that there's a big struggle for power in friend groups. Who's gonna be on top? Who's making all the decisions? Who's planning what? Who's gonna be the most influential so they can have like the biggest group of friends and the biggest group of people who's going to want to hang out with them. But often the person who's on top is usually the most fake person in the entire group. So I definitely think there was a power struggle in the group, and I definitely think it's going to continue that way, not even through high school, through life. It's always going to be a climb to see who can be on the top. And I personally decided halfway through sophomore year that I did not want to take part in that climb. I would rather be alone and be content with being alone than have to put on a fake smile and a fake personality just to try and impress somebody that I don't particularly care about. So I think definitely the main thing I can take away from all the drama this year is I want no part of it. I want to be my true, authentic self and not give people a reason to talk crap about me behind my back. The next category that I want to talk about is friends. Again, as well with the drama, I definitely made a lot of discoveries about friendships this year. The people who I became friends with became people that I didn't want to hang around with. Now, I'm not saying they were bad people. They were absolutely wonderful people, and I don't mind saying hi to them in the hallway. I don't mind sitting next to them in class. That's fine. But they became a version of themselves that I didn't necessarily agree with. And I think it went back to the whole power struggle thing of trying to fit into a group, because in society we're taught that it's like so necessary to be fit into this one tiny group or or fit into a tiny box. And I think because of that, a lot of people this year were pressured into fitting into a group where they couldn't be their true authentic selves. And because I don't like hanging around people who are not their true authentic selves, I drifted away from them. And because I drifted away from them, I drifted away from more people and more people and more people until I finally drifted so far that I made my way out of the group. I think leaving the group or drifting out of the group or being pushed out of the group, however you want to put it, was one of the single best things to happen to me. Because I didn't have a group to be with anymore, I really used that time to discover who I was and who I wanted to be, and discovered that it wasn't worth being a fake friend and a fake person just to try and have the security of fitting into a group. It makes me sad because when we started high school, there were a lot of people who were very authentic because they wanted to make friends. And the best way to make friends is to be your true self. But in time, as we get older, we try so hard to impress other people that we lose sight of who we are. And I kind of valued that I am the person that a lot of people come to for advice or to vent to or just to cry to, because I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to give my honest opinion. But I'm also the person who isn't going to be fake with you and isn't going to lie to you, because it's not worth it. It's not going to make you like me anymore. It's not going to like me anymore. It's not going to make other people like me anymore. It's not worth it. Well, sophomore year was definitely a struggle, friend-wise. I think that I grew a lot, and I hope that next year maybe a lot of people will mature and we can rebuild relationships, or new people will come into my life and I can form authentic relationships with them. But until then, I'm okay being alone. So the last topic that I want to touch upon is personal growth. I definitely felt like there was a lot of personal growth this year, specifically in the area of anxiety. It's no secret that I have an anxiety disorder. I've never hidden that fact. In fact, I am proud of the fact that I can openly talk about my struggles. I definitely started sophomore year with so much anxiety. At my school, there's not really a program that exists for kids who have such a severe disorder as I do, and that's completely fine. But because of that, I was forced to adapt and grow and learn new methods on handling my anxiety, and it was definitely a struggle in the beginning, but I found that as I stepped away from the drama and stepped more towards bettering myself, I was able to handle my anxiety a lot better. I think another thing that I personally grew in this year was I definitely improved my grades. I worked really, really hard and I got my GPA up this year. There's still a lot of work to do, but I'm really happy with the way I ended this year as opposed to the way I ended last year. So I think that's a big personal growth. And yeah. So this was basically my sophomore year wrapped up into one probably very long video, but I love my school. I love the people at my school. While there are definitely some struggles that I have to go through, I am growing day by day, week by week, month by month, and I just really think that the more I improve myself, the better my high school experience is going to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and make sure to leave me a comment. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you lovelies later.